Okay, I am back, and this is going to be part 2 of my little card pocket hinge folio thing. So I've decided that before I put on my lace and trims and embellishments, fabric type deals, I want to go ahead and stitch around these, the edges of these first. So I'm going to pause really quick. You're going to have a cut in the video, of course. So yeah, give me a minute. I'm going to do some stitching. And when I come back, you're going to see what that looks like. Okay. So I did my stitching. It took me a minute because I had to change out my my thread and bobbin. I had black in there. So I did end up using a cream color thread. This is standard sewing thread, nothing special. I think it's probably cotton, if I'm not mistaken. It's 100% cotton thread though. And I am using the Brother C as in cat, S as in snake, 6000, 6000, I as in ice. And I used the number 1 stitch with, I think, 3.5 or 4 spacing. And this floral leaf stitch is number 49. And for this one, I'll turn it over. So, I probably should have changed the settings for this one so they could be seen a little bit more. I feel like it's too condensed and too close together, but I do feel like it gives it a pretty cool look to it in texture. And this is number 57. That stitch there. Let's see if you can see it a little bit better. And once again, this was number 1, and I think it was number 4 spacing, the number 4 for the spacing thing there. I'm not a professional sewer by any means. And I did just some back stitching here to once again give it a little bit of something. Something. And I think it looks pretty cool. Honestly, this is giving me kind of like an old trunk briefcase kind of feel with the way I did the inking and stenciling. So yeah, so I think that's going to be a pretty cool, if you wanted to stop here, you could. And this could just be like a pocketed journal card, but of course we're not doing that. But yeah, so you do not have to do the stitching. Once again, it's totally up to you. You could always hand stitch this if you don't have a sewing machine. If you're scared of doing this, you know, and that's been stopping you from getting a sewing machine, get a secondhand machine. It does not have to be anything spectacular. You just need a cool couple of stitches. You know, you don't have to be decorative like this. I did it because I have it, so why not? I bought my sewing machine back in 2020 for COVID, and I sew the heck out of some masks. So that's like literally my knowledge of sewing. Okay, so use a mask and some paper, and that's about it. No, that's not true. I did sew some bags as well, like some little drawstring bags. But yeah. Okay, so now that we have this, we're gonna go ahead and get into the kind of final decorating of this part, which is really going to be kind of simple once I figure out exactly what I am going to do. I need some threads, and I do have some kind of like on the ready here. They aren't necessarily the color scheme that I would go for, but it is okay. I'm really not going for any specific theme or color, so I just have them there. And if I want to change the color, I can just take my inks and run it along there, and it will change that color. So yeah. Also, my bits of lace here, I do want to add a little bit of coloration to it too. So guess what? Using that blender brush, I do want some daubers. I will get daubers at some point, even though I do have the blending brushes, but I don't know if you could necessarily do this with daubers. I definitely think they would probably damage the dauber a little bit more, and make that like shelf life a little bit lessened is what I'm trying to get at. But with the brushes, I don't think there's anything to worry about. I've been doing this for a little while now. And this is what I do sometimes, because I don't always dye my laces. Just because, honestly, when I'm dyeing stuff, it's mostly paper. Because I would prefer to leave something it's like natural color and have an alternative quick way to change this, just that one little piece that I'm going to be needing for a specific project or whatever. So like this. Now it has more of an aged look. So for color reference, let me see here. Let's see, get a little bit more light there. So color reference, it is a little bit darker than what it originally started as, and I'm okay with just a little bit darker. Yeah. Perfect. Actually, sorry, I hit the screen. I hit my stand that my phone is on. Okay. Okay. So I want some of these in the front and some of them in the back. So I am going to glue this bit down first. And we're just going to take them and just kind of like bunch it up a little bit there. And I don't know if my stick glue will hold that down, but we're going to try, because I will be putting Fabri-Tac on it, but I just I don't want to put Fabri-Tac just on this little bit of what are these things called? Threads. So you know what, we're gonna give a play right now. We're gonna boop, boop. There we go. And a couple of these too. Just gonna kind of bunch them up and lay them down. And this is actually holding. Look at that. Okay. Man, sometimes you just really don't know what you have until you try it, huh? I did not know that this glue would kind of just hold that there for a moment until I needed it. So I don't, actually I'm gonna go ahead and put that like that. So what I'm doing here, right, the decorating part of it, it's going to be seen from the back and the front. So I do care kind of about both sides. And for the record, this is the glue that I'm using. Extra strength, permanent bond. Okay? If you're using glue stick for anything and you want it to stick forever-ish, make sure it's permanent bond. So we're gonna just kind of layer some things here and there. I'm gonna have that laid like that. And I want a couple of more of the lighter colored ones. So what I do have here is some of the cream colored thread, like a nice navy color, and like a gray, a grayish color. So I want more of the lighter colors. I'm gonna go and pull some more out, and that might be it. Okay, and we're just going to kind of just bunchel and crump them up and lay it there. Just let it be. Let it be. Let it be. And did that, but it is okay. Let me just pull it off and stick it down again. It does look like a jumbled up mess right now, but it will be covered in lace, so it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit so that you can really see what I'm doing here. Okay, I'll stick it down really good. Okay, so that's what it's gonna look like from the front. That's gonna be the back, but once again, I know it's a mess right now. It's okay. We're gonna lace it down. So I am keeping in mind that once again, this is going to have a hinge. There's going to be fabric here. So what I am thinking, I will probably not get my fabric so I can show you. I won't bring the fabric all the way up. What this is probably going to do, my fabric is probably going to start there and end about here, right? So it has a good solid hinge on it, but I still have, let me put that down a little bit more. So I still have a nice area here to decorate with my lace. There we go. Okay, and we start. So I tend to work really, really close to me. So it is habit. I'm gonna move the camera for a minute, so sorry. Okay, there we go. I think I can work better like this. So it's habit for me to just kind of like pull my whatever I'm working on back to me. However, I am a little bit large up top, so gets in the way. So I can't have my camera too far back either. So I work with what I'm working with, peoples. All right, so we're going to get started. I want this glued down to about right there. So probably a centimeter from that that stitch that I have. And then we're gonna start laying it down. Okay, we're gonna get some glue bits. It's okay, we can rub it away, hopefully. Get that out of the way. Okay. Once again, I am not a professional at this. I am learning myself as I go here with things. I may not be doing it the easiest way possible, but I'm doing it the way that works best for me. If you know of a better way, if you know of someone teaching a better way, you point me in their direction and I'll give it a go. I mean, I do watch a lot of YouTubers already. Actually, as I'm filming this, I have YouTube playing in the background, just so that people can get views. I mean, honestly, there are people that I subscribe to, but I don't watch them for one reason or another. Maybe like the sound isn't the greatest quality, or background noise is kind of like bothering my anxiety or something, because I am one of those people that, like, I'm super sensitive to sounds, which is also why I'm like so quiet. And I just kind of keep to myself. So yeah. And you can see what I'm doing here. Like, I am bringing the glue a little bit further out, and I know it's probably gonna dry by the time that I get there, but it's okay. It's gonna kind of leave me a sticky residue to kind of work how I need to work to get this lace laid down the way that I want it to. Sorry, I got some glue there. I'm trying to pick it up with my finger. Okay. My nose itches. So you see, it did dry, but it's still sticky enough to kind of give it a little bit of a hold so that I can do whatever I need to do to get it stuck there. So it's nice, especially if, like, once again, like this little technique here, ruffling, I guess is what it's called. I guess it's called ruffling. Yeah, doing these little fabric ruffles, totally new to me. It took me forever to kind of get comfortable doing them, and I'm still clearly not completely comfortable doing it. But I like the look that it gives, so I'm working through it. I'm just kind of trying to let that glue dry a bit, so that I can get kind of like the finalized piece there, because with the lace, you know, the glue does seep through, so having it wet kind of hinders the progress as well. So just try to let it dry quickly, and then I'll continue on with my last little bit there. And yeah, so I think this will be my last piece here. Let me grab a scissors. Sorry, wibble wobble. Just chop them off. These scissors, here we go. They're West Scott titanium scissors. They are old. And I use them for just about everything. And they do exactly what I needed to do. Okay, put a double of glue there, and a double, little double there. And that is done-zo. That's done. Now, of course, if you wanted to, you could have done the stitching after. Or you could have laid that down first and then did the stitching, but I didn't want to. I didn't want that look. And that's what it looks like. Just a cute little mess of a thing. Let me get this bit glued down a smidge, because I didn't put any glue there to start. I didn't want to glue directly on the corner just yet. And we do have some glue that's strayed away there, but you know what? It's okie dokie. We just say it's textured, right? That's not glue. That is not a mistake. That is some texture that was added on purpose. Okay. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Okay. Look, if you guys ever get a view of this area here, it's an absolute disaster. It's a mess. I'm here like every day for hours crafting while my son naps typically. So this the space is worked in every day, and you can definitely see that it's worked in every day. It's a disaster. So I'm happy with that, and that's going to be left alone. That's done. Okay. Now moving on to this one. This is the one that I haven't completely decided on yet. Okay, let me take a moment of silence to think. So remember, I wanted this. I wanted to add this to it, right? So what this will be is, and while I was sewing, I sewed on this side, and I was not thinking about this is where the hinge was going to be at. But actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I could kind of make a left-handed, or put the pocket in the back, right? So this could be the front, and then the pocket could be back here. So the front of the card, it would have the fabric here. So you would see that something is kind of like attached to it, but the front would be very, very plain and basic. And then when you get to the back, that's where your tab would be. Yeah. What are we gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna pause for a minute to think, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I have decided that I am not going to hinder, stop, or contain my creative juices from flowing. So we are going to have this be in the back. Surprise! That's what it's going to be. Cool. And I am going to decorate the outside of this card. Where are my stencils? So since this is green, like a nature type theme card, I am I'm going to, I wanted to do like a leafy pattern or something here. Ah, here we go. Okay, so I have this stencil, right? I feel like doing, I don't want the florals because that's not what I want. It's not what I want. So possibly the leaves, or possibly just this stencil. This is another stencil that I got from Temu. Temu. Okay. 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 Right. I'm having a conversation in my head. Okay. I'm thinking it out. I'm talking it out in my brain. Don't judge me, guys. Don't judge me. I promise I'm not as crazy. Okay, let me not say that. Okay, so once again, I'm gonna have fun, right? I'm just throwing all inhibitions out of the window, and I'm gonna have fun right now. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. You are witnessing me experimenting with this, so wish me luck. I'm actually going to use a small piece of tape for this. I'm not gonna press too hard on the card portion of it because I don't want it to, I don't want it to damage the card when I pull it off. So I have these two green inks. I have a lighter and a darker. Okay. I don't know what color I'm going to want. So I'm just automatically going to start with the lighter one. And I have a baby blending brush here that I'm going to use. Just give it a little bit of a wipe off because I don't want any dark ink to bleed into there. Okay. Okay. So let me just kind of get some things organized so that you can see what I'm going for here. I don't want to do the whole card. Okay. I definitely want whoever is doing this to still have some type of space to do what they please with. And this is Versa Magic Tea Leaves. And this is a chalk ink for those who don't know. So it kind of has more of a matte finish to it. And I personally like that. I've been having these inks for quite some time. They have not dried out on me, and I do not use these. Well, now I may use them more often, but it was a very long time that they were just sitting in my craft ink space and not getting used, and they're still nice and juicy. So yeah, so we're just gonna go in here and stencil. And something that I'm thinking of doing as I'm doing this, I don't think I'm gonna do a hard edge here. What I think I want to do is kind of like empty my ink on the center parts, right? And then I'm gonna go in with try to get my brush empty of the ink and then go to the edge so it's kind of lighter so it can blend out, if that makes any sense. I could be doing this wrong. I don't know. That's just kind of what actually kind of did it for me, and I didn't even have to try anything. Boom. So that's what I wanted. I wanted kind of like that fading look on the edges. That's exactly what I wanted, and it did it for me. But I also was purposely kind of leaving the edges untouched anyway. Okay. I'm happy with that. Okay, so now that's going to be the front of the card and the back of the card. Okay, so we're going to have, sorry, got to zoom my camera back out. Okay, let me cover this back up for a moment. Okay, so this is going to be flipping out, right? So, and then my fabric is going to be here. So I think what I'm going to do with this bit, we're going to use the same piece of tape. I am going to do kind of like a column, I guess. So this is going to be for someone, right? So I do kind of want it to be a little bit straight. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I do, you know, wanted to at least make it look like I'm trying a little bit. So I just want to give people garbage. That ain't cool. Okay, so there we go. Got that taped down. So I just kind of lined it up so I can get a somewhat of a straight line. And we're gonna fill up that brush again. Okay, and I'm gonna start in the middle and work my way out. And I do want that kind of like faded edge look kind of again. So we're gonna just really pay attention to how much pressure I am putting on the edges there. And let me get a little bit more ink. Just blend out whatever you're working with. There we go. Okay. Ah, I love it. Okay. 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 All right. Now, I want to, I'm going all over the place here because I did kind of like change my mind about how I'm going to have this flip. So yeah, I'm okay with that. So this bit is going to be covered up by fabric, right? So that'll be totally okay. So you'll see that little piece of fabric, and then it's going to flip out, and then that's what you're going to see once it opens up. And I think that's so cool. Alright. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to go back to decorating this. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Holy. Wow. Okay. Okay. Alright, so now that I know that we're flipping out this way, I really need to get this straight. But it'll be okay. I'll put it under a book or something and it'll flatten itself naturally. Boop, boop. And guess what? I'm going to do a little bit of decorating on here. Since I did add this to that, this stencil image to the card, I do kind of want to bring that into the pocket as well. And we're not going to do a lot. I don't even know if this green is going to show up here. So we're just going to kind of randomize it a little bit. And so it, you can kind of see it, if you do that. It's like magic. You gotta tilt it in a specific way to see it. I'm not mad at that. I'm going to continue just for cohesiveness purposes. I'll just do some random thing there and here, so that if, you know, the person does kind of look at it, they can see that it's not just like one blob mistake or whatever. So okay, so that, okay, that does not show up. Okay, so we're gonna go with the darker green that I have. Maybe this one will show up, and it's a hint of pesto. Oh man, so I lived in Miami from 2002 until 2017. And if you are a Miami native, then you know the area that I'm talking about. If not, still listen, because it's a good story anyway. So there was a Peruvian, yeah, I think it was Peruvian restaurant in Kendall on 107 and Sunset. I think that was the area. And I think it's called Machu Picchu. what it was called. And they had some of the most amazing tasting homemade pesto sauce that I have ever had in my entire life. I mean, delicious. Like, so much so that whenever I just read this name, that's exactly what I thought about. Okay, I didn't tape that one down, but it's okay. Okay, so that color did pick up a little bit more. So we're just going to kind of continue to darken it up a little bit more. I don't want to go complete black. So I'm going to go ahead and get my walnut stain. Don't move. Load my brush up really well. I'm going to cover this already because I'm not going to do more than one pass. Put that out of my way. Okay, and then I'm going to try to hit this where I don't see a lot of that green on the stencil. So that's the cool thing about stencils too. You kind of know where you've already stenciled by how clean the stencil is or not in that area, right? So just go over a little bit. Okay, so you probably can't see that right now, but I'm going to pick it up, and it is very subtle. It's not like hit you in the face type of stenciling, which is perfect. Very, very subtle, and I'm more than happy with that. I'll go ahead and just hit the back very, very lightly, and just in some spots. I'm not going to do every place. Once again, just for some cohesion. I don't even know if that did anything. I don't see anything at all on there. Okay, let's go one more time. Okay. I'm probably going to have to press really, really hard. Yeah, to get that color to pay off there. Because I didn't load the brush again, so it's using whatever ink is already left over. So yeah, okay, just a little bit, super subtle. I'm not gonna do the whole back of this card because I don't want that. Okay, okay. Okay, now that that's done, now decorating. Okay, so I don't think I'm gonna add that anymore. I don't want that to flip up. So let's do another little thing here. Do. Wait, because it's gonna be, the fabric is gonna be there, so this kind of has to be on that side, right? And I think maybe if I cut this in half, it'll be better for what I want it for. So snippety snip. Okay, once again, this came from the Dollar Tree, so if I mess it up in any way, shape, or form with experimenting, I'm not mad because it only costs $1.25. But it will never go to waste because I love using this stuff. Okay, so once again, okay, I don't know. So I'm trying to once again kind of do the okay, let's stop what I'm doing. Let's actually not try to do it, but actually do what I want to do, right? So fold, down, fold, down, fold. And then once I have that done, I just kind of want to crunch up the areas on the side. Okay, so I think I am going to do it. And you know what? Like, now that I'm kind of like looking at this, I don't know, this might be a little bit creepy to some people, but it kind of reminds me of like little bitty bones, like little animal bones or something, the way it's sticking up out there. Once again, the person I'm doing this for, you know, they said they do a lot of nature journals. So I'm just kind of really trying to give that feel of things. I am going to bring in some thread again. Just give me a moment. I did kind of use up what I kind of had pre-cut, so oh. This is that light gray. I think I might bring in some black since I did use black ink on this one as well, so there. So there. Okay, and I'm going to cut these kind of in half in smaller pieces, smaller-ish pieces. Just because if, like, I feel like if the piece is too long, it just gets too, like, I don't know. Look. It just gets too. It just gets to be too much for me. That is all. Okay. And I think I'm just going to plop that there. I'm not going to put too much thought into this part of it since I did put more thought into the other bit of it. Okay, once again, my fabric hinge is going to be there. So we're okay. And once again, we're just going to use a little bit of my glue. Here. Okay. And that is done. Alright, wish me luck. If you've ever wondered how do you get this glued down, just watch and see. It definitely does take a it was a learning curve, I guess, for me, but I did it. So yeah. Okay, so I guess I'll explain it to you. So typically the edge has some type of running line. It's not even or straight or whatever the case may be, but it's that running line. So that is where I put my glue. So away we go. Just glue on that line. I'm just gonna kind of bunch it up here because I am definitely kind of going for that messy bird's nest nature kind of feel. So your glue will get on your hands with this, right? So I just kind of come in here with a crappy piece of tweezers that I don't mind getting all gluey and funky, because that happens. And I'll glue it down. I'll use my tweezers to get a good adhesion to whatever I'm working on. So there we go. Glue that down. And once again, fold it back on itself. And then we're gonna come here. This is gonna be, I think, where it gets a little bit tricky for me because I kind of want it to curve a little bit. Okay, and then boom. I'm so glad I got this on camera because I would not have been able to explain this, and I hope you guys saw that with my big old fingers in the way. Okay, so we're just gonna give it a minute to let that glue dry. I'm actually probably gonna put it in front of my heater. So, fun fact. Once again, make sure they're tweezers that you don't like because that's what happens. It dries, you can pull it away, but still. So yeah, okay. So yeah, fun fact. I'm like severely anemic and I am cold all the time. Like literally all of the time I am cold. A lot of the times, even like in the house, my fingers will be blue just because I'm so cold. So in my craft room, I have a small little heater, and that is kept on while I'm crafting. I am in Central Florida. It is 80 degrees outside, and I do not care. I am cold. I have a medical condition, and I am cold, so my heater will be on to keep me warm and comfortable. Alright, so I am happy with that. Really happy, actually. So pleased. It definitely, you know, this is also giving me like a coral type vibe. So like if you're doing a water themed journal or under the sea, mermaid, fish, whatever, that's pretty cool too. So yeah, that's definitely a very naturey substance we have here. Okay. Alrighty. So there's some glue bits that I'm not so happy with under here. That is okay for now. I can always go in and cover that up with something or another. So we're just gonna keep moving. We're gonna kind of get this finished for you guys. The fun part, I guess you could say. Let me get some things out of the way here. Let me just, all my lacy bits. I'm not the most organized person in the world, but I do try to, like, if I'm not working with it, I do try to get it out of my way. I'm not putting it anywhere special. I have a little bin right next to me that is actually holding my stencils and stamps for me. I'm just tossing it in there for now, just so that I can get this done. Okay, so important part here for me, making sure that your fabric is the size that you want it. When I first measured this, right, I measured it for the card. Now that I did all of this And also for the record, I don't know if you guys realize, but this is only the second time that I'm doing this. The first time I did it was completely on a whim. So I'm like trying to remember everything that I did and how I did it and how not to do it because of whatever mistake I did. So yeah, disclaimer for that. After we're in the second part of the video and you've already watched me for like 2 hours. So I measured the fabric for the card. Okay, what I really should have done was measured the fabric for this, because that is where my fabric is going to go. Here. So it is going to cover most likely this stitch line. That is totally okay for me. That's not okay for you. You know, you figure it out. I'm trying to remember if I stitched on this too. Possibly. I probably did put a stitch on here just to make sure that it was bound really, really, really well, so that, you know, I didn't have to worry about anything coming off. Since it is a hinge that I made myself, just being super, super cautious. Okay, so let's go. So I'm literally just going to follow the stitch line until where I kind of want it to stop. And actually, I think I want it to stop a little bit further up. Okay. And then all I'm going to do is snip. Now, these are, yep, it's the same length. So, guess what? I'm going to go in and just use that as my measuring. Let's do this a little bit better. Merendy. Come on, people are watching. Okay, there we go. Boom. Okay, so for my green nature themed one, I do want to add a little bit of color to my fabric. So I'm going to take my small, I almost made a huge mess. I'm going to take my small, I'm thinking again. Because I could stencil the fabric as well, but I don't think I'm going to. Because it's going to be on the front, right? It's going to be in the front. And it's going to be on the back. And this is super thick, so I'm probably... That, I think, was one of the issues that I had with my first one. I think my fabric that I used was a little bit too wide for what I wanted. Which is not a bad thing if that's the look that you're going for. You can keep your fabric this wide. I don't think I want it that wide on this one. So, once again, I'm going to fold it almost halfway, but it's not, right? Because once again, easy to take fabric away if it's still too long for me, well, too wide for me, but it's more difficult to add that fabric back. I honestly think, okay, I think that's going to be really good. Honestly. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this quick. So I want to add color to this. Oof. Okay, so because I had some color preloaded into this, it's giving probably a little bit of a darker color than I wanted it to. But I'm still not mad. It's definitely aged, right? Okay, that's cool. And I'm going to go ahead and do this one already as well. So I'm going to fold it almost in half and snip. And of course we're saving all of these little bits. I'm going to use Vintage Photo for this one and just run it down there. So I really am hoping that the camera is kind of like picking up the changing color. And you could see, possibly. Yeah, you could totally see it. This is a little bit more colored. That is all. The fabric, once again, it's just, I think it's like a cream colored cotton fabric that I used to make masks with. So honestly, this fabric is super old at this point. Okay. So, right, the part that this has all been leading up to. Oh god, I've had you guys here for like ages at this point. Okay. And I've also decided to, my tape messed up this thing here a little bit. It's okay. I may do it like this. Yep. Okay. So this is going to be the front of the card, and this is going to be the back of the card. Okay. So my tip for doing a fabric hinge, make sure that you have enough space here to give your card like good stability. Well, you're not your card, but your pocket there. Good stability. That's my first tip, and I think I'm gonna bring it over just a tad bit more. So we're probably looking at about a quarter of an inch, about a beaut. Sorry, my allergies are getting bad for some reason. And also, yeah, no, I'm not gonna corner that anymore. Okay, so that's where I'm gonna, how I'm gonna line that up. Okay, but I'm gonna glue this part down first. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I knew where I was going with things before going. And then once again, let me work. Guess. Okay, there we go. And line this up as well. I'm going to use the non-frayed part for this side. So I can't see, but I can feel. So this is the edge of the card, and this is where my fabric is. And I think, let me pull that out just a little bit. Do like another like little quarter of an inch. Okay. And what the cool thing is about having the stitching there is I'm literally going to glue on that line. And I am also, give me one moment here. Too high, too high. I'm gonna trim. going to trim this a little bit. Sorry for the silence. I'm gonna put a little mark in pencil, just so I can kind of get a guide of where I want my glue to go and be. You probably can't even see that, but I put a mark here, and I can barely even see the one that I put here, and then there, just so that I can get my glue pretty precise. I am going to glue straight on that stitch line. Where is that mark? I mean, seriously, I can barely see it. That's how small of a mark I made. It's probably useless, honestly. Okay. So, okay. I have that glue down, and I'm going to finger smush. Another little trick, if you're new to working with this glue, if you have a thinner fabric, it will bleed through if you put too much and it's a thin fabric. So that finger smush does help a lot. If not, then you're going to be here trying to pick glue out of spaces where you don't really want it. And then just give it a nice rub. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna add just a double here, because I did not go up far enough. Okay, and once again, finger smush. Okay, and I want to make sure that I have good adhesion. So I'm going to flip this over and see how far out it came here. So you see it did not pick up there. So I'm just going to add a little bit more glue, because I want to make sure that this is going to have the stability that it needs. Okay, and boom. Give it a good rub. And it should be there. Okay, I'm still going. So then pretty much the last and final step, because my phone is going to die apparently. So I'm hoping that this is not ruining the quality of the video. Okay, last step is to attach it all together. Okay, so I'm going to, here we go, so you guys can see me. I laid this down where I want it to be laid. Then I'm going to pull my fabric back, kind of taut. I will go ahead and add a line of glue. And I'll come in again. Finger smoosh. I'm trying to bring it out. I'm not trying to push the glue in, because I don't want that. And lay my fabric down and rub. And you see the glue is kind of seeping through a little bit still. But it's okay. You can always go over and add like more ink or even more fabric. I stitch over it, so it'll have some type of decorative bit to it. So now that that's done, we're going to come here and do the same thing. More glue. And that's even less precise than what I have been doing. And a good finger smush there. Oh, good. I did not go too far out. Thank goodness for that. Okay, so my phone did die on me. I think this is the first time ever that my phone's died on me. And I do believe the last thing you saw was me gluing this down. So it is glued down. I did not glue down the entire piece of fabric because I like that it's gonna roll up. Actually, let me. So as soon as the camera stopped, when my phone died, I stopped working so that you could see everything. Although you guys probably seen too much as it is, but whatevs. We're just gonna keep going. And you see, I now have some seep through of the darn glue. It's okay. It is okay. So yeah, so I'm going to call this finished. It really is just a base for whoever gets this to put into their journal and make their own. I will be making some tags to go in here as well, a few tags. So yeah, and that dried up very nicely. You can now see the stenciled image there and there. So I'm super happy with this. I'm glad I got a little bit creative and went for this. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to this one, and I'm gonna go really quick again with this one. And this is going to be on the front, right? Get all these little strayaways done. Okay, so there. Put that out of the way. And we're gluing on this side. And once again, I'm not going to make any lines this time. I am just going to do that. And I do know that it pretty much goes all the way up to that lace. So there we go. Let me zoom in just a smidge. Glue is down. Finger smudge. Okay. Wipe it off of my desk because I don't care. It'll get cleaned up later. Come here. And there's a little bit too much there for me. Okay. All right, and gently pat that down. Make sure it's good adhesion. I do like a frayed edge. So I'll just kind of let it do its thing, but I didn't want it to be too busy there. Okay. And I'm wondering if I should do anything to this card. I'm gonna say no because this video is already out of control. Okay, so once again, I have that lined up to where I want it to be. Okay, I think that looks a little bit more even. Yep. Okay, so pull that a little tight. stream of glue, finger smush, lay it down, pat, 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 rub, rub, rub. That's some lint that we want to remove. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. And once again, finger smush. That may also be another good idea if you kind of really want to get into that crease there. You can just make sure you give it a good finger smush so you don't have any globs of bleed through. Okay, and there we go. 5 million hours later, we have two very unique card folio pocket flip out thingy. Look, somebody help me with a name, please, because I don't know what this is. Clearly, I don't know what I created. And I don't think I've seen anywhere else to even say, yeah, hey, so-and-so made this too, and this is what they call it. There we go. Darn glue. Yeah, no, that doesn't look good. Okay. So, voila. I'm super happy how these turned out. Like, super, super happy. If you guys are still watching, you're like true troopers. I appreciate it so much. Of course, if I had all of this decorated and I didn't share that entire process with you, I could have knocked these two out in like 3 minutes. But I went through kind of like my entire process of thinking, creating, crafting, you know, just like all of it without any pre-work done other than the card being made. Right? So I appreciate each and every one of you, the like 5 people who watch my videos and comment and subscribe. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, let me know. I will probably do a faster video of something that's already decorated. And I'll probably post that to my TikTok just to get something faster out there for anyone who does not want to sit here and watch like 2.5 hours of me rambling and peeling glue off of my desk. So have a good night. Thanks, or good day, whatever time you're watching this. It is it's now 10:19 for me on a Friday night, and this is what I'm doing. My kid's sleeping and I'm here filming videos. So thanks. See you later. Subscribe, get yourself hit the bell, right? That's what they say, hit the bell so you can get notifications. Yeah, that's it. So next time I post another 5-hour video, you'll know when not to watch. I'm kidding. Hit the bell, guys. Come on. Hit